What's up guys? In today's video we're going to continue with this tutorial series we're doing with Gatsby, and we're actually going to look at data in Gatsby. So let's go ahead and jump on into this video. Alright, so I've got Gatsby open here and we are on the next step in this full step-by-step tutorial. So to recap what we did already, well, we basically learned how to create our own components, as well as nested layout components and our own CSS modules. Okay, or well, how to style them, I should say. So what we're going to be doing next in this tutorial is we're going to start focusing on a little bit of data. So if you want to read this, it just talks about how you'll be diving into Gatsby data layer, which is a powerful feature of Gatsby that lets you easily build sites from Markdown, WordPress, headless CMS, and other data sources of all flavors. So anyways, here's a little note. Gatsby's data layer is powered by GraphQL. For an in-depth tutorial on GraphQL, we recommend reading this. So I will give a link to this page here that we are currently on in the description of the video down below. Alright, so let's move on. Data in Gatsby. Alright, so what is data? A very computer sciencey answer would be data is things like strings, integers, objects, etc. But for the purpose of working with Gatsby, a more useful answer would be everything that lives outside a React component. Okay. Anyways, if you read through this, so far you've been writing text and adding images directly in components, which is an excellent way to build many websites, but often you want to store data outside components and then bring the data into the components as needed. So if you're building a site with WordPress, so other contributors can have a nice interface for adding and maintaining content, the Gatsby, the data for the site, pages and posts, are in WordPress, and you pull that data as needed into your components. Okay, so data can live in file types like Markdown, CSV, etc., as well as databases and APIs of all sorts. So this is what makes this very nice. Gatsby's data layer lets you pull data from these and any other source. Sorry, I'm very not good at reading today. Directly into your components in the shape and form you want. So using unstructured data versus GraphQL, we don't really need to get into any of this right now. Again, you can read through all of this. You can go to these other pages and read those as well. But let's just go ahead and get on down to this tutorial so we can actually play around with this and see what it's like. So first thing, let's open the terminal and we're going to create this new project. So if I go to my terminal, I'm going to cd to my desktop, and then I'm going to write Gatsby new tutorial part 4, and then the repository we're going to use, run that. And then because I'm feeling very lazy right now, I'm just going to copy that so we can just cd into that project very quickly. Alright, let's go ahead and cd into that. And what's next? So it says then install some other needed dependencies at the root of your project. You'll use typography, theme, Kirkham. Alright, so we'll go ahead and run npm install save Gatsby plugin typography, React typography theme, Kirkham, Gatsby plugin, emotion, and at emotion /core. So I'll copy that and paste that because that is going to be so much easier than writing that all out. Let's let that run. And great, there were 0 vulnerabilities found. Let's jump back over to the web page here and see what else we need to do. So it says set up a site similar to what you ended with in part 3. This site will have a layout component and 2 page components. Okay, so you can see source components, layout.js, and then we're basically just going to paste this whole thing in there. So let's copy this and go over to the terminal and type in Atom period. So it opens this up in Atom, and I'll drag this window over. All right, and we'll go into source. We'll create a folder called components. And then inside of here, we'll create a layouts.js. Is it layouts or layout? Let's see. Layout.js. Did I create that accidentally? No, okay. Layout.js. And we'll go ahead and paste all those contents right into here. Great. So next, we need to go ahead and create this index page and this about page. And we need them all to use that layout that we just set up. So let's go ahead and go back to Atom. And in pages, we already have an index. So let's just go ahead and paste all that in. And then we'll also create an about page. So about.js. And then we will simply paste all this in. Let's see what else we need. We need to go ahead and set up source utils typography.js. So we'll copy this. So source, we'll create a utils folder. And then in there, we'll create a typography.js file and paste that on in. And then it says Gatsby config.js must be in the root of your project, not under source. So I'm going to copy this and we'll come back over here to our source. And we're going to write gatsby-config.js and paste that on in. Great. So once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and run Gatsby develop. And we should get this result if we did everything right. So I'll run Gatsby develop, wait for this to spin up that local server. Or local host, I should say. Apologies. So we'll go ahead and open this localhost port 4000. Let's open it in a new tab. And there we go. So we have pandas eating lots. Amazing pandas eating things. And you can go to the about page and you can see this information. And you can navigate back. So everything is functioning as it should. So it says now we can start querying. Your first GraphQL query. When building sites, you'll probably want to reuse common bits of data, like the site title, for example. Look at the About page. You'll notice that you have the site title, pandas eating lots, and both the layout component, the site header, as well as in the H1 of the About.js page. Let's go back and look. So we got this here, and if we come over here, About pandas eating lots. So that's what we got going on. All right. But what if we want to change the site title in the future? You'd have to search for the title across all of your components and edit each instance, which obviously just takes a lot of time. So anyways, the place for these common bits of data is the site metadata object in the gatsby-config.js file. So add your site title to gatsby-config.js. So I'll go ahead and copy this here. Site metadata, and that's set up as title. So let's go back to Atom, and we will put that, I believe it's, yeah, right here before plugins. Great. So what now? Restart the development server. All right, let's go ahead and stop this. So I'm hitting Control C on Mac, and we'll go ahead and start that up again. Apparently there's an update for this, but well, we can update that after this video. Okay, great. It is set up again. So let's come back to the tutorial and see what we need to do. So use a page query. Now the site title is available to be queried. Add it to the about.js file using page query. Okay, so there's a few things that we need to do here. First, we need to import GraphQL from Gatsby. So let's go do that right here. Great. And then we need to change this information here. So I'm going to copy all of this, and we'll end up pasting that in. But before I do that, what I do want you to look at, if any of you guys have done any of the Jekyll projects with me, this should look a little bit familiar. Data.site metadata.title. It's kind of like doing site.data. Whatever in Jekyll. It's very similar. So anyways, let's go ahead and paste that in here. So we're just going to change all that. Great. And that should be everything. So let's see if this works now. There you go. About title from site metadata. Perfect. Okay, so what's next? The basic GraphQL query that retrieves title in our about.js changes above is this. So that's pretty much what that's looking like. All right. Use a static query. So here's the next thing we're going to take a look at. Static query is a new API introduced in Gatsby v2 that allows non-page components like our layout.js component to retrieve data via GraphQL queries. Let's use its newly introduced hook version. So it says go ahead and make some changes to your source components layouts.js file to use static query hook. All right, let's go ahead and make these changes. So we're going to import this. It says import use static query link and GraphQL. So let's go find our imports. I think we can do that right there since it's all from Gatsby. We're going to add this before. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong file. All right. Let's close out these so that we don't get confused, because I was just getting confused. All right. Now let's recopy this in there. There we go. All right, and then let's go ahead and copy all this and paste that on in here. And now let's see if this works. So this has another success. It should say title from site metadata. There we go. Title from site metadata. Perfect. All right. Let's see what they want us to do now. So almost everywhere changes you make will immediately take effect. Edit the Gatsby-config.js file again, this time changing the title back to pandas eating lots. Okay. Let's go to Gatsby-config and we'll change this title to pandas eating lots. And let's see if that's updated. And it has updated. So amazing pandas eating things, pandas eating lots, about pandas eating lots, and pandas eating lots. All right. So that's really it. That's just a little introduction into using GraphQL and getting in using data within the site so that you can make this scale so that you can change things in one place. There's a lot of benefits. So go ahead and read through this. And next week we will continue working with querying data. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Next week we are going to continue where we left off here in this tutorial and work a little bit more with some data. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If it helped you and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the content that I'm creating on this channel, head on over to my Patreon account at patreon.com/Zachary R. Newton, where you can help support this channel and help me create better videos every week. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.